be a tornado on the ground. Now here's the good news for folks in Smithville. It's just gigantic hail. But if you consider yourself a resident of Smithville and you live south of town, there's where our tornado is. We're talking maybe 3 or 4 miles to maybe 7, 8 miles south of Smithville, about 5 miles east of Amory. This is moving into somewhat rural territory down here, but you definitely need to be in your tornado safe place. This could still make its way to Detroit, Alabama. It's heading toward Detroit. Oh, Facebook's blowing up. There's a lot of folks wanting to know what's going on. If you have some friends and family in this area, we've had a number of power disruptions today. Give them a call. I'm sure the lines are blocked. Keep trying. Make sure they know more is on the way. Okay, let's go wide. Let's look at the whole situation, see what we've got. We continue to have what we refer to as a PDS tornado watch. That stands for particularly dangerous situation. That is in effect until I believe 9 p.m. this evening. Is that correct? I'm going to do something. Let's see if I can get my Twitter to work on here. Because I just got a Louisville picture in, and I imagine that damage is significant.
Hospital hit there.
Hospital hit in Louisville?
We got a viewer report that a hospital was hit. Everyone's okay.
Okay, that's a viewer report. We're working to confirm that with authorities in Winston County. This is one of those situations that's just going to be hard to sort through what exactly is and is not happening. Let's talk about that thunderstorm, and that thunderstorm's in the northeastern part of the county. Let's actually track the circulation in Monroe County briefly. Track it northeastward at 50 miles per hour. And the only place that comes up on my map is Detroit, Alabama. Significant. Here is a picture of the tornado in Louisville. Sent in by viewer Sasha Liz 2K17. Friend from Louisville sent me this. Doesn't look good. And that could be the understatement of the day. It looks absolutely terrible. Looks kind of like what went through Tupelo. As we've talked about for the last week, we anticipated the potential for tornadoes, and as we've discussed over the last 48 hours, their potential to be violent, long-track tornadoes is unfortunately being realized. Let's go back to Storm Track Doppler radar. It's going to bring it in a little closer. Let's go down south to Winston County. Likely a tornado still either, that's first off, gigantic hail right there. And rotation south of Louisville. It's a close call, a very close call. So we need to have you in your safe place. I'm not as convinced on that other rotation as what we thought a minute ago. Let me see if we can, I apologize, it's going to take me a minute to do this. I'm going to see if I can get back to the wind mode on Storm Track Doppler. Still 2 circulations there evident. You know, that strongest circulation, I want to see the track of this for a moment. Current time is 5:01. I'm meteorologist Matt Laubhahn live on WTVA, ABC, WTVA, WLOV, with a special edition of WTVA News at 5 p.m. We've had tornado damage occurring, reported in Louisville. We've had tornado touchdowns in Chickasaw County, as well as in Lee County, in Itawamba County. We are sorting through a lot of misinformation at this point, and I hope you'll understand that it's going to take us some time to figure out exactly what is going on and where it's happening. We've taken what I'm just going to go ahead and call a catastrophic power hit here at the station. As I'm sure much of Tupelo is, we're out of internet. And so we're relying on some slightly more primitive technology to show you where the radar images are, and we want to make sure that you know where your safe place is, because these tornadoes will continue as we go into the evening, and the threat will continue to shift southward through the area. We're going to show you the grittier version of Storm Track Doppler radar. This version showing us that we continue to have tornado warnings out, 4 of them in effect, 2 for Monroe County, 2 for Winston County, and 1 that clips sections of Noxubee and Oktibbeha counties. The Noxubee-Oktibbeha County storms are the most impressive. This thunderstorm to the east of Louisville, and I believe that is the same circulation that caused significant damage when it moved. Nope, that is a secondary circulation that is redeveloped there. This circulation that moved through Louisville right there, we have reports that the hospital was damaged. There's still rotation from another circulation that now I would put just south of town, and another circulation that I would put just east of town. So there are multiple situations in and around Winston County where we could have multiple tornadoes on the ground at this instant. Let's go northward to Monroe County. And let's talk about that tornado-warned thunderstorm. I'm not 100% convinced we have a tornado on the ground, but I definitely have circulation here within about 3 miles of Smithville. Circulation that it's heading toward the north and east at 50 miles per hour. And you could make an honest-to-God argument in a couple areas where there's rotation. But I want to assume that this could be a tornado on the ground, if not in the generation phases as we speak. As you can see, that's our track on it. Detroit, Alabama, 10 minutes. There's not a whole lot of folks that show up on this track. But certainly, let's come in. Let's read off some county roads. We're talking Pierce Chapel Road, Buckhead Road, Horseshoe Bend Road, and in Alabama, County Highway 26, County Highway 15, just north of Detroit, as it might track very close to Highway 17 near Detroit, Alabama. Let's go back to the wind mode on Storm Track Doppler radar, and let's show what we have now. A new tornado warning issued just moments ago by the National Weather Service out of, I believe that would be Huntsville. Actually, it might be I think that's Huntsville. I'll see which warning it is. That would be Huntsville. No, that's Birmingham. Sorry. Let's get some information on this thunderstorm, if I can get it to come up. This might take this a second. Okay, we'll just go with it. Tornado warning that's in effect for another 24 minutes from Marion County, Alabama, heading in the direction of Hamilton. That is for this tornadic circulation in Monroe County, right there. So we need to assume that it's going to track pretty close to Detroit, Alabama, and it's going to clip some folks here, mainly rural territory, near the Turon community in southern Itawamba County. Go to your safe place. We have had numerous reports of damage from across the area, but in particular, it seems as though, and maybe this is just because we have more crews on the ground in Tupelo at this instant, we have had very significant damage in around multiple communities around Tupelo, including the Joyner community. We had reports of damage to structures such as Vanilli's. That intersection there, near Green and Gloucester, was very hard hit. We go to our Emily Leonard for the latest information on some of the damage reports coming in. Emily?
Okay, Matt, thank you very much for that. And of course, we'll get back to Matt as quickly and as soon as possible. But for right now, we have Tupelo Mayor Jason Shelton. He is on the phone with us. Mayor, are you there?
Yes, Emily, I'm here.
Okay, what are you seeing right now? Where are you?
Chief Gary and I are on Green Street at the moment, going to evaluate North Gloucester and then the Joyner neighborhood.
Okay, and what are you seeing there?
Well, where I'm at the moment is clear, but we haven't gotten to where most of the reports of damage are from.
Okay, do you have any reports of injuries? Have you heard anything?
There have not, thank God, been any reports of any casualties. There have been several reports of non-critical, non-life-threatening injuries, but thankfully no reports of casualties. And the Tupelo Fire Department, Police Department, Park and Rec, Public Works are literally going door to door in the neighborhoods that have been affected, door to door in the commercial areas to check and verify and respond as needed.
Okay, that is good news that we haven't had any major injuries just yet. Quick question for you: as far as the city of Tupelo is concerned, what are the crews doing right now? Where are we at on getting power back? Do you know?
Yeah. All hands are on deck. We did a walkthrough of the thankfully we had notice of the storms coming. Did a walkthrough of emergency management protocol this morning. Chief Walker, Fire Chief Walker, has operational command of emergency situation. He has got all hands on deck, and the water and light crews out, public works out, Parks and Rec's assisting. Every single resource that we have is out there. Governor Bryant has personally called me twice today. He's sending, and several have already arrived, state agencies and officials. We have MEMA is here. Governor Bryant is sending in additional National Guard troops. Just anything that is at, any resources being made available from state, the county. County administrator is there at Fire Station number 1, which is our command center. So, if it can be done, we're doing it.
Okay, and we've been getting some reports of some gas leaks. Have you heard anything of that nature?
There have been several reports of gas leaks. Commissioner Brandon Presley, Public Safety Commissioner, is out evaluating that. Representatives of Atmos Gas are out evaluating that. And then members of the Tupelo Fire Department are also evaluating that. There's been several reports of that. As far as confirming the extent of it, I'm not able to really do that.
What do the Tupelo residents need to do right now? What is your message to them?
To stay home. There's a natural tendency to get out and evaluate and, try to see it. We're going to City Attorney Ben Logan is in the process of preparing an executive order to enact a 10 p.m. citywide curfew tonight. We're going to enact that. The police, highway patrol, sheriff's department, other law enforcement agencies are going to be here to enact citywide 10 p.m. curfew tonight. So I would say stay home. There's the WTVA's meteorologists are well aware there's still potential danger, and want to stay home. The traffic congestion, being out and about doesn't help anything. So just stay home and stay safe with your family.
Definitely so. Mayor, is there anything else that you needed to add or that you've seen lately?
No, thank you. WTVA has done a wonderful job of distributing the information and news, and just again want to continue to urge people to stay home and be weather aware, and take care of yourself and your family.
Absolutely. Mayor, thank you very much. We'll check back with you later on today. That was Tupelo Mayor Jason Shelton. As he said, they have enacted a curfew for Tupelo. It's 10 p.m. tonight. Mayor also urging everyone to stay off the roads. Many of those roads are impassable, including Highway 45 and Highway 78. That intersection there is impassable. Tupelo Water and Light there trying to clear that area. Light poles down, tree tops knocked down as well. A lot of damage also at Green Street and the Gloucester area. Outback, Vanelli's, the gas station there at the corner of Green and Gloucester. Lots of damage. Stake Escape, lots of damage there. We're receiving in photos and videos of that area as well as other areas that we're trying to get on the air for you right now. We've got lots of crews out trying to get video, trying to get interviews and get you the latest information. Like Matt said, we've had a catastrophic power hit here at the station, so we're trying to get you information as quickly as we can and in the best method possible. Some other news to relay to you, like the mayor said, very few reports of injuries right now. Only minor injuries are the only reports that we are receiving. Mississippi State University closed at 3 p.m. today, so it is closed. Our Chris Tatum was in the Joyner area earlier today. You saw some video from WTVA's Terry Smith as well. He lives down in that area. He sent us some video. Lots of tree damage there, power lines down there as well, crews working. Earlier in the day, we received some reports that the mall was hit. We did have a WTVA employee drive by. She did not see any damage, so we're still trying to work and confirm that. We're showing you some video now of some storm damage, trees down on tracks, that sort of thing. But right now, I'm getting word from our meteorologist, Matt Lopon. He's got some more weather updates for us. Matt?
Yeah, we're still unfortunately having to work this as an active severe weather event, and we'll get some more damage stuff here in a minute, but I want to make sure we have folks aware. We're looking at the severe thunderstorm, the tornadic thunderstorm that is now crossing the Alabama state line, about to approach Detroit, Alabama, which with what in all likelihood is probably a tornado. There's nothing about this return that says it's not a tornado. The wind mode has ticked up a little bit, and so this is going to be a close call. I think if you consider yourself a resident of Detroit, but you live just north of town, you need to be in your safe place. We have only a couple of moments before this crosses into your location. As we go wider, let's go south. First off, a lot of thunderstorms, a lot of lightning, heavy rainfall. You know, there's tons of stuff going on, but there's also still tornadic circulations. We're talking near Louisville there. This be east of town. This is the one we were tracking very close to town a moment ago. What we don't have initially, obviously, on here is we don't have that solid debris signature indicating the massive debris that we had moved through with the first tornadic circulation. But this is still one we have to treat very seriously if we live in Louisville, if we live in particular east of town. We still have a few minutes, probably 5 or 6 minutes before I can give you the all clear if you live in Louisville proper. Let's get a storm track on this thunderstorm. And so just east of town, by no more than about 2 or 3 miles, and we'll assume a speed of about 50 miles per hour. And I'm going to double check the motion on this just a little bit more. See, this is heading almost directly east. So the southern end of this track is what we're watching, obviously in Boone right now. And if it holds together, Meshulaville in 15 minutes. That's just on the southern edge of this. But if any of these storms, this is heading more east than it is northeast. So these are your times, and a reminder that we are dealing with a potential tornado of significance at this instant. Let's go ahead and go back to the radar mode. There are really 2 circulations here that we're looking at. It's going to take me a moment. I'm going to try to pop that up. Velocity, which allows us the which way the wind is blowing mode. Boy, and that front circulation there has really gotten more impressive, unfortunately. This storm is going to cross into Oktibbeha County pretty soon. Right there. I mean, pretty obvious what's going on. You have that southern circulation and then this northern one. I'm going to minimize this for just a second. And let's go ahead and do that storm track based upon that angle. Okay, and so heading northeastward. This one's heading more northeastward, which has been the standard track. It's not impossible that could hold together all the way to Columbus. We're talking Lynn Creek in 10 minutes, Crawford Community in 20, and 27 minutes into Billups, 39 minutes into Columbus. So it's something we're going to watch very closely. The newsroom can let me know when they are ready to do a little more damage video here in a minute, and we'll get to that. This is stuff that's going to go from a trickle to a flow of information over the next few hours. So we appreciate your patience. Tornado, hold on. Now I want to make sure that that looks like more straight line winds when I'm looking at partial screen there. It may be more straight line winds just to the west of Aberdeen. Let's look at that on the precipitation mode. Apparently there's a new game. Okay. Well now, hold on. This right here, though not tornado warned, could at some point in the near future, could I really get more things popping up? At some point in the near future, that could possibly spawn another tornado warning. It's not an impressive signature, but it's one we're going to have to watch very, very closely. Obviously, want to remind folks, if you live near Detroit, Alabama, now is the time to be in that tornado safe place. Let's go and talk this over to Newsdesk for a little more information. Emily?
Okay, Matt. All right, there we go. All right, I've got our Wayne Herford with me here right now. Wayne was down in the Joyner area. What did you see down there?
Okay, thank you very much, Emily. When I was down, I came in and there was plenty, I guess you can see on the screen at this time, plenty of tree damage. There were huge trees down in the middle of the road. I believe you're looking at some of that right now. And ironically enough, some of the neighbors just came out with their own chainsaws, started moving trees out of the way.
They knew what to do.
They knew what to do to unblock traffic. Of course, the Tupelo Fire Department did show up and was there to help as well. But that entire area from Clayton Avenue, I would say north, in the Joyner School area is right now pretty much impassable from what I could tell. There were several roads that led back in and out of there. They were just gridlocked.
Yeah. Were you able to talk to anybody down there?
Yes. I did have a conversation with one lady, and she was describing what happened, of course, when she was sitting at home and she heard the trees snap and so forth. But no one was hurt there. They were fortunate. She had some kids in the house with her, but she was very fortunate and thankful that nothing happened. But most of that was just tree damage that we saw now. Now, as far as we know, I talked to one fireman who was directing traffic. We didn't know of any injuries at that time in that area, so we feel like folks in that part of the neighborhood, I guess the Joyner, Clayton Avenue, that sort of area, are in pretty good shape as far as we know. Now, I'll admit as far as we know, because certainly we didn't go house to house or door to door or anything.
Right, absolutely. And I know a lot of people are probably wondering about the Joyner Elementary School. Were you able to get a look at that?
Unfortunately, because of the way traffic was flowing and because the police and the emergency people had blocked off so much of the area and the gridlock, just the sheer gridlock, it was hard to get in there. I could see from a distance the Joyner School, but I couldn't physically drive there to witness for myself.
Right, and you mentioned traffic being very congested right now.
Yes, absolutely.
How in the world did you even get down there?
Okay, here's what happened. I came into the Joyner area. Once I got in, I realized pretty quickly it was going to be tough to get around. So I got my video, came out, tried to hit West Jackson Street and take Gloucester, go north. That was ridiculous. Couldn't do it. So I ended up taking, going back around, hitting West Main Street, taking Thomas Street, going south, got on the trace, and then came back north to the station. All took about 20, 30. I mean, it still was a slow go, though.
So your advice to people, obviously, is do not get out.
Do not. If you know what? I remember thinking to myself, a lot of people probably live in those areas, then a lot of them don't. I think there were a lot of sightseers, quite honestly, about it. And if you don't have to be out there, I would say don't, because you're going to be gridlocked. You're going to sit there for a while.
Okay. Wayne Hertford, thank you very much. We appreciate that. Let's go back over to Matt for the latest on our conditions. Matt.
Okay, I'm still trying to go through and sort through some of the social media going on here, and we appreciate all the folks who are chiming in. Want to make sure that that we keep people as much in their safe place as possible, especially if we're talking about, okay, give me just a second here. Nick, I'm going to pop you up for a moment. Would you give a rundown of the times of the warnings? Do you have that information? God, so little internet. So little internet. Okay. Do we have a little more information? So we can go with Emily. Let's go back to Emily for just a second here.
Okay, Matt, thank you very much. WTVA's Chris Tatum is live with us once again from the Joyner neighborhood. Chris, are you there?
Well, it's truly a tough day here in West Tupelo right now in every direction as far as I can see and hear. Damage or sirens trying to get to people who are still being rescued, pulled from their homes, we understand, in different parts of West Tupelo where trees have fallen on houses and that sort of thing. Let me show you right here behind me. This is just a small part of what we're seeing all about West Tupelo. Look at how huge these trees are, and what you can't see just around this corner, that tree is actually on a house. The next tree up is on top of that house, and as far as you can see in the distance there, trees are twisted off and on houses. Chimneys are toppled over, power lines down everywhere. In fact, we had problems getting to this particular part of town because there are so many power lines down. Power lines alone have actually blocked several streets. Down this way along Lupkin Street, I'm standing in a yard off Lupkin Street, just a little bit further in this direction, several houses damaged and even worse damage in the other direction. In fact, there are some gas leaks a little bit further up that have folks concerned right now, and they're trying to deal with that and keep people out. All over this neighborhood where I'm standing, people are coming home at this time. just to see for the first time whether their own homes are safe. And of course, many of them are finding that their homes have been damaged, some of them destroyed. Reporting live from West Tupelo, Chris Tatum, WTVA News.
Thank you, Chris, very much for that. Just want to reiterate again, we heard from Tupelo Mayor Jason Shelton earlier this afternoon. There is a citywide curfew for the residents of Tupelo. It's 10 p.m. tonight. The mayor also discussing lots of damage all across the city. His best word of advice, as well as the weather authority's best word of advice, do not get out unless you have to. There is lots of damage right now, and there is lots of power lines down. It's a very dangerous situation out there. Our weather authority is still tracking these storms that seem to be moving across our area. Green Street and Gloucester, that's where a lot of the damage is right now. Vanelli's out back, the gas station there, the Steak Escape, that general area is seeing lots and lots of building damage. We're trying to get video into the newsroom. We're trying to get photos out there for you, but it's a little bit of a slow go with the power outages. Tupelo Water and Light working on getting the power back. The crews are citywide, all hands on deck, trying to get the power back for us and get everything put back together at this point. WTVA crews still out to bring in that video. Matt was talking earlier about tornado moving through the Louisville area. Mississippi Highway Patrol reporting damage in Louisville near the country club. Nick, you said it was east of Louisville. The North Mississippi Storm Chasers and Spotters giving us reports as well. They are out in full force east of Louisville. Lots of damage out there. Again, we cannot reiterate that this is a catastrophic and violent situation in Northeast Mississippi. Please do not get out if you do not have to. You want to stay out of the way of all of the emergency crews because they are trying to respond. Do you have something, Mel?
Tupelo's city curfew now 9 o'clock, not 10.
Okay. Want to report this just in. Our Mel Carlock here at the station received word from the mayor's office that curfew is now 9 o'clock. They have backed it up an hour. Tupelo residents, a curfew, a citywide curfew scheduled for 9 o'clock tonight. Definitely stay at home. One of the words that they're really throwing around and they're using a lot is patience. So please have patience, not only with the city, but with us here at WTVA. We're trying to keep you safe. We're trying to get information out there. So please just bear with us. And speaking of more information, let's go back over to our chief meteorologist, Matt Lopon. Matt.
Okay, so now our tornado warning thunderstorm that's in effect for southern Oktibbeha as well as western Noxubee County. This thunderstorm in all likelihood still producing a tornado but is on the ground. This is a very violent return on storm track Doppler radar. And right in there in the middle, as you can see, is the dividing line between Oktibbeha. This would be, I believe, Noxubee County, and then Winston County back to the south and west. But this rotation there is significant as it pulls toward Crawford. This is going to be a very close call. We're looking a long ways away. As you can see, popping up behind me, that might be Linda. I need to find out where she is. We'll check that here in a minute. When we have cars on top of cars anywhere, that's a big deal. We're going to have to check that here in a minute. Would you, Jonathan, would you find out where that picture was from Linda? So we can get that information on the air. Appreciate that. But we still have to be putting people in shelter. Though Artesia, Crawford, you're technically not in this tornado warning. A tornado warning should be coming out very soon that includes Lowndes County, and I think it will include the city of Columbus. So we need to be assuming that this situation is only going to get, well, might not get worse, but it's certainly not going to get better in the near term. We continue as we look northward to show multiple areas of rotation. Most of these are much, much smaller, fine scale, but that does not mean they're not significant. One is going to track between Okolona and Amory. This, not probably a tornado, but something we'll have to watch in the future. Farther east, we have our storm that was previously producing the tornado there in Monroe County has now lifted into Marion County, Alabama. This rotation also not quite as impressive. That doesn't mean it's gone away completely. The northern end of this line doesn't have as much moisture, doesn't have much fuel to work with, and so the likelihood of significant tornadoes is a little bit less. But this is one of those moments, and I know we've had some, if we're having major power outages here in Tupelo, and I know we took a big hit, there's some outlying areas that are having some major power outages too. So I would really, really, if I could, recommend to all folks at home, if you know some friends who live down here in Crawford or Artesia, to get on the phone and let them know a strong circulation, possibly an impressive tornado, unfortunately, is heading in their direction. So we have to be very, very careful of the situation. Reminder, above my head, you can interact with us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. Okay, let's widen this. And let's go up north. I'm going to switch the radar. Oh, hold on, see here. Let me get some information about what we're looking at. Come on. Apologize. This is not the radar I intended on working today. Last updated at 5:25. It's 5:28, so my data is still current on this. Let's go to the precipitation mode on Storm Track Doppler radar. And we can just see a mess of precipitation, a mess of rainfall for locations in Monroe County in particular. Most of this is non-tornadic, but that's that little, remember that little circulation we looked at? That's right there. Let's put on the city names. Okay, and so that would be between Amory and Okolona. I'm not saying this is a tornado, but I'm saying if I lived in Nettleton or Smithville, I would still be in my safe place. Maybe you never came out. Farther south, storms continue to be strong to severe. Our Winston County thunderstorm is going through a bit of an evolution as it moves into Lowndes County. You are not going to be able to see this tornado as it approaches Crawford. You can see the precipitation as it curls around here. That is where we're watching, almost right on the doorstep of Crawford. I am actually borderline shocked that there's not a tornado warning out for folks who live in Lowndes County as of this instant. It's just a severe thunderstorm warning. But okay, I would still be in my tornado safe place regardless. One thing I can do to make a bit of a decision as to what exactly we're dealing with here is I can look at